Hi, I'm Jessica Stutzman from Millcreek Township.
And I'm Chantel Rodriguez. Welcome to the Millcreek Government Channel.
Today we are pleased to welcome Brian Marshall, Virtual Chief Information Officer, who is here to talk with us about VNET.
Thank you so much for joining us, Brian. We're so excited to talk about VNET everything, so let's get to it, right?
Well, thank you so much for having me. We really, VNET appreciates you having me here today. I'd love to talk about what we're doing in Millcreek and what we're doing at VNET.
Yeah, so let's go right into it. I know very little about technology as far as VNET, but I do use the service and I have nothing but good things to say.
Okay, so when you're talking about that VNET, you're talking about our VNET Fiber,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So for a lot of your viewers, they're going to be talking about our fiber to the home. VNET Fiber to the Home is pretty awesome.
It is.
Okay, and it's not just awesome because I work at VNET, but it's awesome nationally. The ability for us to have fiber internet service right to your house is something that sets us apart from many other places in the region. There are plenty of places you can go and you don't have that option. In Millcreek, you're lucky, many of our zones are already open and that fiber is run right to your house. Why is that important? What it means is that you've got this super fast internet, right? If we're going to take out the technological terms, right? It's super fast. What makes fiber fast? Okay, it's light running across fiber optics. What's fiber optics? That's that glass tube that's running with the... You're limited by the speed of light. That's how fast it can go. So if you've got a bunch of kids in your house that want to play a lot of games and they've got a lot of streaming happening, a lot going on, having that VNET fiber gets you as much throughput as you need. If you're just a single person at home that watches their one little thing, you'll have plenty. It really shines though when you've got a house full of people that put a lot of demands on the internet.
Right, and what I'm thinking too, like I kind of go back to like 2020 when everybody was working from home and kids were trying to do virtual lessons, and then things kind of got a little spotty after that. So that's kind of what you're talking about, just everybody staying connected all the time.
Because you're on fiber optic it goes both directions, okay? So your traditional old school internet was really big about download and the upload was pretty slow. Didn't really matter because if you think about the internet, most of the things I'm doing is consuming, right? So send the internet down to me, it's not a big deal. Well, as soon as we get into a virtual learning situation where now I've got my camera on and I'm trying to talk to that teacher, the teacher's talking to me and we're going back and forth, that puts a huge strain on the upload. It doesn't with fiber because we're completely synchronous. We have absolutely both directions is the same speed. So you can have a gig of internet going both directions into your house. You could literally have an entire school full of kids in your house doing virtual learning with VNET Fiber and have no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, so let's talk about, this is relevant to Millcreek Township, and because we're on the Millcreek Government Channel, is it locally owned and operated?
Yes, so we are the only locally owned and operated internet service provider in the region. So Joel Duderman, our founder, still there. You know, he long time ago. Let's do a little history lesson, right? We started out as Velocity.net. Okay, Velocity.net. We had dial-up service. Many of the people watching this will remember when they had a dial-up modem from Velocity.net. We were the first $9.95 dial-up internet service in the country, right? We started there in our roots. We had tons and tons and tons of subscribers. Well, obviously dial-up is not going to be able to support it, and over time we morphed and morphed and morphed. Joel set his sights on having the fiber network in town. So we started building fiber to businesses all over. Once we got the businesses established, the next logical step was how do we deliver it to the home? It's taken a while. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's about a 6-year burn for our phase 1. Why? Because we wanted to make sure we did it right. We did it very carefully and we did it very correctly. So we went in front of, I think, about 16,000 homes in the first 6 years. Phase 2 is starting now. We're going to hit another 16,000 homes in probably 1 year, right? So all of a sudden we can accelerate that because what we learned in growing, you grow small and purposefully, and then you expand that into, and now you can start rinsing and repeating and making that a really great thing. But really important, locally owned and operated. Every single dollar you spend on VNET Fiber stays in Erie. We're not sending it out to somebody else. Nobody outside of Erie owns it. It's owned and operated. All the people that work on it are from here. Everything is local.
Great, good to know, and again, keeping jobs local is very, very important.
We love to
So.
do that.
Yeah, and talking about the phase 2, I know maybe there's some folks out there that might not know what phase 2 looks like for them, or if they're a part of that process in those 16,000 homes that you're going to be doing. So can you tell us a little bit more of the phase 2?
Sure. So anywhere I walk and wear this shirt, somebody will stop me and say, I really want this. My friends have it. How do I get it? So the best thing they can do is go to vnetfiber.com/maps. You just go to vnetfiber.com. There's a maps button there. If you head on over there, you can see what zones are open right now.
Okay.
And if your zone is green, you can sign up for it today, get on the list, and somebody will come out and get it installed for you. If you're not green yet, you can look at where we're coming. We've got some maps out there of zones that are starting, like we've started permitting, we've started doing the underground work, et cetera. This winter's not awesome, right? We all remember, like the last 3 winters have been nice and warm.
Really?
We've been wearing shorts in January, and that's not today.
And now we're super cold. So it's definitely going to slow down our progress of going underground and running some things because frozen ground is not very friendly. But it's not stopping our permitting, it's not stopping our installs of the places it already is. So even though we might not be able to dig a new neighborhood until spring, we're getting everything in the background ready to roll. Because the minute that ground defrosts, the teams are going to be out there running those cables to make sure that we are poised to be able to deliver that service to your house.
Yeah, and I was telling Jesse too, like the tech came out and the nicest tech you could ever have. And just the attention to care and the service that he provided, every tech that has come by has been amazing. So you guys are doing great work.
That is really great to hear. And it's something I hear often, and I wish I could take credit for it,
Yeah.
but Julie and her team do a phenomenal job of making sure that everyone is trained in not just the technical side of it, right? Because they are the technician, they need to understand the technical side of it, but we're coming to your home. Why does local matter? Because that person lives here too.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't want somebody traipsing in there. And you might run into him in the grocery store. So he definitely wants to be able to look you in the eye and say he did a great
We
job.
actually have.
Right, there you go. So like if you all of a sudden become friendly, it's not so good if I don't do a great job. So
Yeah.
it's in our best interest to make sure we're always putting our best foot forward and making sure that you're getting that high level service.
No, it definitely shows.
Yeah, and in speaking, putting your best foot forward, or at least maybe Erie putting their best foot forward, having, world-class internet service is a massive draw to other businesses that may want to come here. Can you tell us, how this may impact Erie and Millcreek, for years to come?
Sure, let's talk about homes first, then we'll go right to businesses. So I know people that will call me and say, I'm living in Millcreek now, I'm moving to another neighbor in Millcreek. Is there fiber there? Because I'm not moving if there's not fiber.
Wow.
So it matters to your home values. It matters when you go to sell your house. If you have VNET Fiber, that gives you a notch up because people want to have that availability. That goes right to the businesses as well. If you think about it, if I'm trying to, let's say I'm trying to bring my business here, the fiber is going to matter. But let's just say I'm Erie Insurance and I want to keep people here. So we have a great student that goes through McDowell, does phenomenal, goes to Gannon. Now we want to retain them. Their ability to have quality internet service matters to a person in their 20s. That it's not as important as drinking water, but it almost feels like it. Like it's that important. Everything we do is so plugged in. If they don't have good quality internet, it's tough to retain talent.
Yeah.
So for our existing businesses, being able to keep people here, fiber matters. And for a new business looking to the area, if they're looking at us in another town and the people that they're going to want to hire have this great connectivity, it really does matter.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I didn't think about it from a standpoint of, retaining, the college graduates here, but it makes perfect sense. And, a lot of times they're maybe even working virtually. And so they need to have that so they can connect with their employer who's not in this state.
So we worry about shrinkage, right? We worry about population shrinking. How do we keep population up? We keep it up by having the services that keep people here. So if our cost of living stays lower, but their ability to work anywhere goes up, all of a sudden VNET Fiber is making that possible. So I can be working at some big company but still living at home. So you love living in the central of Millcreek and being able to be around family and having all of those things go on. But now I get this great job opportunity out of town. If they offer a remote service, but I've got this great internet, I don't have to worry. That's a thing that I don't have to worry about when I'm out there looking for that job. So it definitely affects the region. And if that person works here, they have earned income here. If they have earned income here, that's how we pay for services, right? So it comes right back to the bottom line in the township to have people want to live here. So the more amenities you offer, the more things you have, the better opportunity you have to keep those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of people say, like, why should they choose VNet? Like, what's the reason for it? There's other things that go on through their head, so why would they choose VNet?
So you're going to choose VNet, one, because it's the best service. Okay, you talked about the level of service for somebody coming in, but I'm talking about the actual internet service itself. It is unparalleled. I mean, it is absolutely the best quality of service. You're going to choose it because it's local. Okay, when you spend money with VNet, 100% of the money you're spending is staying right here. So if you have your choice between buying something that's going to stay here and not stay here, you know, you're going to want to pick the one that's here. Couple that with the fact that it's the better service, and then couple that with the fact that the level of support you're going to receive is world class. There is no downside to choosing VNet. The only reason somebody would choose something else would be for budget purposes. And when you look at our plans, we are extremely competitive when it comes to all the big, like what internet's going to cost. Some people, like a $69 internet bill might be too much for them, and they can get away with just having their cell phone and doing that. That's totally fine. But if you're going to pay $70 for internet to have that at home, and you have the opportunity to get VNet, I can't see a downside. And that's not just because I work there. That is something that I truly believe.
Yeah, and you just touched on this, and I thought it was really interesting, and I think we've self-admitted that we're not tech girls. We don't completely understand it, but you mentioned about fiber optic internet. Why is it different? And if you're not choosing fiber optic internet, how are you getting internet?
Right, so you can go with the old copper internet, which comes across cable, or could come across, like a DSL service or something like that. Like that, when we talked earlier about that glass and the speed of light, that's the technology. And honestly, it's pretty future-proof. I'm going to say this, and someday they can play this where they figured out what goes faster than the speed of light, and we'll all be like, oh, remember when that idiot said that we're never going to be faster than what's going on there? But as we stand today, this is about as fast as we can get the internet to you. So that technology is something that is going to take you into the future. So right now, we offer multi-gig service, so you can get 1 gig, you can get 2 gig, you can get more than that 1 gig. Someday you might be able to get 10 or 15 or 100 gigs right to your house. There was a time that I thought 10 megs was a lot. So to be talking about gigs is pretty crazy. This technology won't hold us back. By investing in this now, we'll be able to do well into the future.
And I think a lot of it, it's, why choose VNet? I feel like VNet chose Erie specifically, and you're really making it a bridge in the community to be there, stay local, and bring on folks that are local, keeping them local. So it really shows that you have a care for Erie, Millcreek, and all of the resident areas that you're going into.
We were born in Erie, for this township. That's why we exist. And when you say why choose VNet, let's talk about the other services that we offer. So we've been talking about the internet services because that's most of the people that are being watching this. But if somebody has a business, we do what's called managed services too. That's actually the division that I'm in charge of, right? So I talk a lot about the fiber. I don't have fiber at my house yet. I don't live in Millcreek. I wish I did so I could have the fiber. I'm hoping I'm going to get it soon, right? But the services that we all offer for managed services, where we're the IT for that company, is something that we've also been doing equally as long. So we offer that as a whole nother branch of the company. What makes us so unique in the country is that we're most a managed services provider, an internet service provider. We offer TV services, and we offer phone services. Within our building downtown, we have experts on all of those different levels. So when anybody's having a problem, anything technology related, I don't have to call somebody else. I can literally walk to the office next door to mine to find an expert in that area. No one else can offer that in that breadth of service. We make sure that business owners can walk into their business and their IT just works. So in a lot of cases, we're the IT service for those small businesses. Tons of businesses in Millcreek use VNet as their managed services provider, and my team is making sure that their stuff is protected, safe, and always available to them so that their employees can just come in and work. We want business owners to be in the same boat you're in. I'm not all that technologically savvy. It doesn't need to matter because I can just call VNet and they just have it handled.
Yeah, and they're just ready to go. So that kind of leads me into my next question, only because we touched so much on the knowledge of your technology staff, and I thought this was really cool. What does VNET have, what events does VNET have coming up for those also interested in technology?
So one of the cool things that we do is we do a summit every year, okay? You can go to vnetsummit.com to check out the details. This year it's on July the 10th, I believe. That's the Thursday after the 4th of July. You can fact check me on that to be sure, but I'm pretty sure that's the date. We're gonna have experts from all over the country and talking about cybersecurity, talking about connectivity, talking about all different aspects of your business or interconnectivity for technology. This summit has grown year after year after year. Last year, we actually had the Chief Information Officer from the House of Representatives was our keynote speaker.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Imagine the stories that guy has to tell, right? It was very cool for everybody in the audience to be able to hear him tell stories and see what's going on. This year's keynote speaker has not been determined yet, but we've got feelers out there. If you go to vnetsummit.com, you can go and save the date, you can order tickets, you can watch. We'll keep posting more and more things as we keep lining up more speakers for it. I MC that event. It's a phenomenal event. The quality of people that we bring in is just, it's on a national level right here in Erie. It puts us on the stage with the Pittsburghs, with the Clevelands, with the Buffaloes. They would be lucky to have a conference of this caliber in their locations.
And we're so lucky, and I see, again, some of the things being offered, cyber technology and AI. Everybody is
Everyone's crazy about
yes,
AI.
we're moving into that, and sometimes I think we've said, sometimes it feels like cheating, but if you're not using it, then you're falling behind.
Right, and if you're not using it correctly, you could be exposing your data to a whole lot of trouble. So understanding how to use AI, conferences like this, partnering with somebody like VNET, we can help you or your business leverage AI so that you're not falling behind, but at the same time not getting yourself in a position where, all of my data is out there for everybody to have. Because the good news about AI, it knows everything you tell it. The bad news about AI, it knows everything you told it. So you got to make sure that we know where our data lives, and having somebody like VNET protect that for you is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And I think a lot of folks get scared of AI. So seeing the technology come from where it went, it's just amazing the leaps and strides that AI is making. It seems like every day there's something new.
No, listen, I paint the doom and gloom picture because there's bad things that can happen, and I always have to look at it with that lens.
Yeah.
But the cool stuff that it does is really, really cool. I mean, what it's doing in medicine to be able to try to advance cancer research and all of that, all of that modeling is great. Some people that sit on my staff are mad that it helps people write better and whatever because they may have majored in English and they think that you're stealing their jobs and what it might be. AI probably should be used for better things than that, but it does work. Like, you can go in and say, hey, I wrote this thing. Could you fix this up to make it sound not so snarky? It's a problem I might have from time to time, right? I'm gonna try to make sure that it is sanitized and good for everyone. So I think the use of AI is important. I think understanding where your data lives is the most important.
Yeah, and ending off with the show here, is there anything else that you would want to say to our residents in Millcreek, if there's any other ideas or other events that might be popping up?
I think I want to tell them that, thank you for having us in your community. Thank you for allowing us to provide you, especially on the internet side of things. Understand that with growth comes a little bit of pain, right? We're digging in neighborhoods, et cetera, et cetera. We always come back and fix the problem. If we dig up your yard because we have to, because it's the right of way, we always make it right. There are other providers that are kind of following behind us and trying to run other things, and sometimes we're getting a bad name from that. It's not VNET. And if you find out that it is, you call into the office, and Julie and her team, they make it right instantly. So enjoy this awesome fiber that you're getting. Make sure that you're being communicative with us if you're having any issues as they come up. But trust me that our team is here to make sure that they make sure Millcreek and Erie are at the forefront of technology.
Ryan, I want to thank you so much for coming in and really teaching Chantel and I about VNET, fiber optics. I just felt like I really didn't understand it going into today's interview, and I feel so much better talking about it. I feel so much more confident, and I hope our viewers feel the same.
So do I, and thank you for having us. Any opportunity I have to talk about it, you can tell I'm not short on words, right? I love it. If I didn't, I wouldn't do it, right? And so I truly believe in it, and I'm super excited that we're here.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Viewers, I want to thank you for tuning into today's show. I hope you learned a lot. Again, this is an exciting opportunity for Millcreek Township. And, if you have questions, again, they're all local. So get online, check them out. And again, we are just moving into the future here with fiber optics. So I want to thank you for tuning into today's show. And until next time, have a great day.